Hello. For fuck's sake, Finley.
That's staying in.
Yeah, that can stay in.
Oh, God. Hello and welcome back to the Ramble Road podcast. Joining me as always are Jacob.
Hi, we're on episode 20. Just thought I would mention that.
And Finley.
Pog.
Yeah, episode 20. I did not know this until Jacob just pointed it out, but, well, time's certainly flown.
I think it's episode 20. Let me have a quick look.
He's just going to have a gander.
Welcome to episode X of
Yes,
the,
it is
podcast.
20. It's
Nice.
20.
Happy
Remember
20th episode.
Oh, I missed episode 1.
The banned episode.
The forbidden episode.
Do you know what's funny is we took down the first episode because we were like, oh, I don't think work will like what we've done here. And then my manager was literally asking if he can come on the podcast and just roast us.
Move.
And me just sit there and go, what's going on?
I remember once when it was like the first lockdown, I was just, working, sorting out the alcohol, and I just see Joe walk up to me, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen Joe in ages. I was like, yo, it's mental. It's like, that's so weird when you used to seeing people like daily, and then like you don't see them for ages.
I was in there for something. I can't remember what it was.
You came to buy hand sanitizer for your mum.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And it was around the time where we had none.
Yeah.
I remember when we got like a whole case in, and I just rang you, and I was like, Joe,
it's here.
And I just ran down and brought like 10.
Well, of course, it's from my mum's school.
You brought these for like 30 odd quid on it.
It's 35 quid.
Bruh, you might only be allowed 2.
Apparently there was no limit. I asked. I checked.
Oh, that must be before we had one.
Oh, no, it was after you had a limit.
One.
It was after you had a limit.
Oh. Based.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just turned up, just like grabbed. I called my mum and was like, how many of these do you want me to get? There's apparently no limit. I'll just get 10.
Remember when the first lockdown happened, everyone was like, right, we're going to get fit, we're going to be doing this online, going to be doing like stuff at home, this is going to be great. And now like the third lockdown where everyone's just
well, I mean, I wasn't really particularly fit at the end of the first lockdown. Second lockdown was just after my first gym session, so didn't get to use the gyms again.
I need to cancel my gym membership.
I have a gym membership at uni because there's 2 gyms on site.
Oh, very nice. We just made the garage into one. So,
oh, nice.
So now I'm not going to have to pay 20 odd quid a month for something I haven't been able to go and use this month. They took the money out of my account like the day before we went into lockdown.
Oh, cancel the direct debit on your banking app. Otherwise they'll just keep it.
Yeah, I need to cancel my membership.
Yeah. So anyway,
if you cancelled your direct debit to them but didn't cancel your account, would they actually notice?
I don't know.
I think they might.
If it comes to money, companies will probably notice. Anything else, they won't.
Yeah.
Anyway, the news. And we start with Jacob. What are we starting with? Help me out here. I haven't been keeping up. Yes, this is a solid intro.
What about
Where do I want to start? Where should we begin?
Well, Joe, you could do the thing you did on the Christmas episode and just read the word notes out.
Notes.
Ah, yes, notes. Let's talk about the notes, shall we?
Yeah. So this week we have 6.
Yeah.
Because I added one.
You mentioned the capital raise, Finley. We did that last episode.
Anyway,
but they've been using all the memes to find the people involved in it.
Yeah, they got really angry when they find out that they're on a no-fly list for like breaking into the Capitol.
Oh, do you know what I find absolutely fucking hilarious? Was I was on TikTok, right? And there was this Trump supporter using the song "American Idiot" by Green Day to talk about how the left is idiots. The song's meant to be the other way around.
It's targeted. Literally, another part of a redneck agenda is one of the lyrics.
It's saying how like the left are like doing. I don't know. Oh, it was so stupid.
America basically, like the Cold War happened, and then anything slightly left became Antichrist.
It became communist.
And then so is it.
It's like a mentality I don't understand at all.
To quote
There was
Jeremy
this, and then
Clarkson,
there's this video from a.
for fuck's sake, I'm trying to quote.
Every week.
Shut up! I'm trying to quote Clarkson here.
Right, do you know what, Joe? I'm going to break lockdown restrictions. I'm going to message Boris right now, and he's going to tell me that I can do it. I'm going to come to your house and just whack you.
Okay, I doubt you will be able to. Anyway, order.
As I was saying, I saw. Actually, do you know what? My story isn't relevant. Go on, Joe.
I missed that speaker. Anyway, to quote Jeremy Clarkson, anything European is basically communist.
I mean,
it is. You've got a point. But I mean, we can talk about how bad the American was.
The American, he complained.
Never let Americans into British. Never let Americans touch British things.
The problem was they needed someone who was anti-Stig, because they literally couldn't have anyone who was remotely Stig-ish, because otherwise the BBC would sue. So they.
You know that originally the Stig was black.
Yeah, they died in an aircraft carrier because they
didn't.
Yes, the character of the first Stig died in the aircraft carrier.
Oh no, he didn't die. They went down there. The only thing that they found was a glove.
Oh, and then he got replaced by White Stig. Now that says a lot about society.
Culturally whitewashed. Before it was cool.
I find it weird that like the African Stig is just like some guy in like a white cloth, and then with
the hat,
just a Stig helmet on.
I don't remember that, but okay.
No, the best one is American Stig because he's just fat.
Yeah. And then which one's the Stig's age? It's the Stig's Asian cousin that just comes out and starts kicking people's ass.
Yeah, comes out and starts like fighting people.
I think this is like the 10th podcast in a row where we either talked about Top Gear or Grand Tour. It seems like a weekly talking point.
Don't worry, because later we have a car bit. So,
I mean, to be fair, I was thinking this the other day. Jeremy Clarkson is a national icon. James May is a national treasure. What's Hammond?
Sure.
National pet hamster.
He's the national pet hamster.
There
was the Grand Tour or like Amazon or something put out a tweet saying like, "Oh, who do you think is going to win this thing?" in Richard Hammond's new TV show, like Richard will be the guy. Oh, I want to see if I can find the reply that someone made, because Richard Hammond actually like.
Oh yeah, I've seen the adverts for this new thing. It looks like Hammond's
insane.
It looks like Hammond's going to be doing usual Hammond stuff, and the other guy's just not going to cope.
Yeah, it says it was Richard versus Tory. Who's your money on? And then some guy put so many votes for Richard Hammond. He can't even fight a car into a straight line or around a corner. And then Hammond put difficult to argue with this.
I mean, to be fair, he crashed that. Was it a rocket?
No. Let's go on about what he's crashed. So
first thing was
he
that
snapped the wheel off the donkey. He snapped the wheel off his Mustang. He
Well, no, you say he snapped the wheel off the donkey. He let the donkey roll down.
Yeah, he forgot to put the brake
hill.
on, so the wheel fell off. The Mustang slid into a snow wall basically and snapped the front axle in half.
Oh, that was the Mach 1. That was a. Have you seen they're releasing a new Mach 1, Finley?
They're making an electric Mustang, and it makes me very angry.
Surely that's just everything the Mustang stands against.
Yeah, I know.
Big 5-litre V8 electric car.
Electric.
No, 6.4 litre V8. You just need more litres, you know.
That's like
24
I'm trying to think of something clever to say here, but I can't. That's like
because you're not clever.
Story of my life.
Fair point. That's like That's like taking a 5-liter V8 out of a Mustang and putting an electric engine in it.
That was
That's literally
terrible.
what they've done.
It's like taking a gun and using it as a less than lethal weapon.
It's like taking
We're not
it's
very
like
good
taking
at
a
this.
jet fighter and using it as a passenger aircraft. It's just
That's
not
like-
designed to work that way.
Well, you say
That's
that
like-
the Russians did turn a MiG-31 into a private jet.
That's like turning.
but
That's like
that's-
using a
that's
sword
the
as a
point.
as a knife to cut up your steak.
Well, I
We're
mean,
not very
to be
good
fair,
at this,
you
are
know,
we?
Life of Boris just does that with a Kalashnikov for bayonets.
Yeah.
So
were we?
that one has been done.
Oh yeah, of course, that Richard Hammond has crashed.
Rimac concept.
Rimac.
Rimac
Two.
concept. There was also the first one that he crashed on the Top Gear thing, which was that jet-powered car.
No. He crashed the Concept 1.
Oh, was it the concept one?
That was the
Yeah, 'cause
Rimac.
then it's when they were talking about the Concept 2. That's when they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna go crash
had it
that one."
upside down.
Hang on.
The Rimac concept one looks really weird.
Richard Hammond. There's
It sort of looks like the new PS5.
Vampire
That's what it looks
Dragster
like.
crash.
Just in the
That
car.
was it. The Vampire Dragster. It was a jet-powered car. He was traveling at 319 miles an hour, and it was apparently capable of up to 370 miles an hour. And
crashed a
he
lot
was
of cars.
doing a run to collect extra footage for the program when his front right tire failed. One of the parachutes deployed, and then it went onto the grass and spun over, and came to rest about 100 yards from the filming crew.
Mood.
That's nice for them. Still, one of my favourite ones is in the Jag episode where
Hammond's
James drives one off a cliff.
Yeah, but Hammond's helmet also had embedded itself into the ground, flipped his visor up, and forced soil into his mouth and damaged his left eye.
Mood.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the worst thing of all that is the soil in the mouth.
Yeah, and then there's what was that one in that Hammond crashed? It was like a little three-wheeled thing that he was driving up
Oh,
the
that
mountain.
was when they go to China. I don't
Yeah.
think he actually crashed technically. He went down the side of the cliff.
Yeah, true.
Sorry to break it to you, Joe, but I think the Grand Tour is scripted.
It wasn't the Morgan freewheeler, was it?
No, it was like it was the backup car for his car that he had, and they were going to do
because his Cadillac broke down.
That was it. Yeah.
I can't remember. I remember he managed to break his own Jag. Because he has an E-Type and he managed to break the clutch on it, I think.
And then
He's broken a lot. He broke his car clutch in the recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also has a Land Rover in his shed. But it's like...
That's half built.
Yeah, it's like the radiator on the chassis and nothing else.
Sounds
Big
about
mood.
right. So,
Finn, do you want to put in your car segment now, as we're on the topic?
Yeah, we're on cars. Favourite car, go.
ooh, that's a difficult one.
I would have to say a 2010 Toyota Aygo 3-door. What a car!
Bruh. You can't just use your actual car.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I love an Aston Martin's quite nice,
Aston Martins are quite nice.
A good Mustang.
If you'd asked me this back when I was in secondary school, I would have told you hands down the Pagani Huayra.
Huayra.
The what now? Can you say the
Huayra. I know.
Pagani Huayra. It's named
I know. I
after
was taking the piss. The Huayra.
Wait, the Huawei, isn't that a phone?
No, the
Bro.
Huayra.
The Huayra.
The Huayra.
Can
It's
someone
there.
send the photo
in-
into the chat?
I actually have one in Forza.
I have a model of one in my room.
Oh, well.
Honestly, I still think the Zonda looks better than the Huayra.
I think that's how you spell it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like a Chevrolet.
Or is it
like
that? I
muscle
can't remember.
car type thing.
It's one or the other.
No, it's got an A.
It's got. Yeah, both of them have an A. One of them just has two A's.
No, but an A, like We don't need to turn this into a spelling episode.
Yeah.
Learn to spell with us.
Learn to spell with Finley, who can't spell, and Jacob, who half the time can't spell. And me,
And
who
Joe,
some of the
who
time
most of the
can't
time
spell.
cannot
saving
spell.
it as download. Why does my computer decide to save images as downloads? I have
Because
a
you're
pictures
downloading the
folder.
image.
Yeah, I have a pictures folder.
That's the convertible version, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's fairly nice as your standard.
it's got the it's got like
It's
it's got active aero.
Yeah, it's got.
It's literally got flaps and slats.
It's old,
Well,
but
not
also new looking. Like, how have they done that?
It was 2013, I think.
No, there's Huayras up to like 2016, I think.
No, but like when they first released them,
2012 to 2018.
2012, 2013, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, cars were better looking in the past.
Which is kind of mine. But
Finley's.
yeah, we'll do mine in a minute.
Jacob, what's yours? What's your actual favourite car? Other than
I quite like. Do you know in the first Transformers film, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Do you know Bumblebee before he becomes a nice one?
It's a Corvette.
the old
Camaro.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Chevy
think it's the
Camaro.
1973 one.
Yeah. It's a nice old car. To be fair, I like that one. That was quite nice. But then again,
Yes,
it's very American.
it is quite nice. Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
you
not
get
the
it in yellow and you're in
73.
America.
I think it's It's one of the weird ones.
78?
No, it's the 79.
I'm gonna Google it.
No, it is the 79. They picked the one that they thought looked ugliest.
But it still looks nice.
Because it looks different and like it's just a nice looking car.
I mean, not gonna lie, I think the 73 looks better than the 79.
Yeah, it's that one. With black racing stripes. Yeah, he's nice.
Although the 73 Camaro looks a lot like the 73 Firebird.
If you say so.
No, it does. The 73 Firebird and the 73 Camaro look very similar.
I don't, Finley. I'm not massively into American cars. I don't know
Have you seen
models
The
by years and
Exorcist?
stuff like that.
Not the film, the
No.
car. Oh, it's
Oh,
another
that's
good-looking
the
Chevy.
is it? Yeah, it's the Chevy Exorcist.
Look at that. Oh,
That's
a
the one that James
beautiful
May
car.
drove, isn't it?
yeah.
What
And then there's the
about...
Dodge Demon, which was the one that Hammond drove.
Oh,
with the
don't get me started on Dodge cars. Why did they make that horrible sound?
Because
I
they've
don't
got
like Dodge at all.
superchargers.
because
Yeah,
it's
it's
supercharged.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
I think this episode might have turned a bit too car related. We've been on cars for about 15 minutes now. Do you reckon?
No, not that long. Because I've got to put mine in when my internet stops dying. It doesn't quite look right.
Look, Joe, we've been on this topic for 20 minutes.
Damn.
I need to find the right version of the car I want. I think I've got the right one. So
Okay, after this, we move on.
here we go. The car may look familiar if you've watched the film Christine. This is a Plymouth Fury.
Oh, it's your
To be
favorite
honest,
car.
I was sort of expecting you to send like a Fiat 500 or something.
No.
No, I was expecting you to send like that. What's that car that you have in Forza? That Cobra.
Oh no, the King Cobra is not road legal. It's a Le Mans car.
Oh, that's a shame.
I would love to see someone try and parallel park that.
What that? The
Well,
Plymouth
it's got no
Fury?
the Plymouth Fury. It's got no power steering. Its arse is bigger than a double-decker bus.
What about that?
To
thing?
you.
Oh, is
I
that
mean, I couldn't parallel park that.
is that the car that can? It's got like the frame, and you just turn the frame around.
I don't know. It's called the Thunderbolt, I think.
It's the one that's in. Where's the one? It's in the think tank in Birmingham. Or that's a different one, actually.
No
It's
idea.
literally-
It's one of the old land speed record cars.
Yeah, this
So
one's an old land speed record car.
It's
But-
just powered by an aircraft engine because that's
Yeah.
what they did.
But past the reason why they designed it with the body that like lets them literally just lift it off and turn it around is because back then when they did land speed records, they timed the entire thing, so it also included the time that it took to get it turned around. So that way they just literally just flipped like it had a body that was the same both ways, so they just flipped the chassis underneath it. So it would be facing the other way and go.
No, but surely if they timed it both ways, there would be a start and end point, and then you would go that way, turn around. They wouldn't time you turning around. They would just time you coming back and take the average.
They timed the turnaround back then
because they did it on
stupid.
the like water speed records as well. I think.
Yeah.
Also, here you go. This is a dumb car. I hate this thing.
Oh, that's that F-104 car that you were telling us about.
Yeah, the North American Eagle. I despise it. It's horrible. It looks terrible.
I think we talked about this on the last episode, didn't we, Finley?
Probably.
Yes. Let's move on. So you remember back a couple weeks ago? Well, last year actually.
Let's scroll back up to the top of the notes.
When this guy was like, "Oh, I've got the transcript for this episode of yours."
Yeah.
We just sort of ignored him. Well, yeah, he slid back into my emails.
Oh God.
He was saying if we're having trouble accessing it just because we haven't subscribed to his subscription thing. So that may just start off.
Politely yet firmly ask him to leave.
So
that was a nice, quick 30 seconds filled.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find it, but anyway, he's like, "Hi, I'm sure this isn't your number one priority, but
no, it really
just
is.
seeing if you had any difficulties looking at your transcript. We see I've looked at it, and it's terrible because you did a terrible job."
Yeah.
It says I can fix the typos, but I mean literally me rewriting the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to talk about Trump?
He's been put in a peach again.
No, I thought we were going to talk about him being banned from everything.
Yeah, he got cancelled from Pornhub.
Oh God.
He's been banned from Reddit.
He's been banned from Google. Like Google full stop.
Has he been banned from Ask Jeeves though?
Stuff out.
I don't think so.
I don't think like they moderate that because you can find like coke on it and stuff. Like guns on Ask Jeeves Kids.
To be fair, Ask Jeeves just. When was the last time anyone actually used Ask Jeeves?
For me, year 6. We used it in year 6 because we didn't have access to Google in our school for some reason. They were like, "Oh, we're banning people from Google," so we used like Ask Jeeves, and some people nearly ended up buying Roman daggers. So they were like, "Man, let's not use Ask Jeeves anymore."
Mood.
Mm.
Speaking of Rome.
Oh God!
I don't have a bit really planned for that.
It's Finley. We know you love Rome. Can we move on?
About
Nero, moving on. No, moving on.
Nero is literally Antichrist according to the church, other than the other Antichrist, which is Fred.
What, from Fred the movie?
No, Frederick II of the Holy Roman Empire. He got excommunicated 4 times.
How many? What the fuck?
Well, basically, he got excommunicated. Then he went on a crusade, took Jerusalem, went to the Pope like, "Oh yeah, I got Jerusalem for you." It's like, no, you can't do that. You're excommunicated. Excommunicated him again.
Despite the fact that he was still...
Yeah, he'd achieved what all the other crusades had failed at. Even the 4th crusade, which we could do an episode on the 4th crusade. It's a complete mess.
Because we don't have people listening anyway. It's not. We're gonna get like negative listens.
Bro, the 4th crusade is literally the meme crusade. They get told, okay, so go get the Holy Land, and they sack Constantinople.
That's the wrong place.
Yes.
That's very much the wrong place.
I'm pretty sure they sacked Constantinople twice. But anyway, back
How
to
can
Fred.
you be that incompetent?
Bro, the Crusaders, they get like the whiff of like an option to fight, and they will just go to war.
Oh, didn't they also like in Crusade, in records of Crusades, the Crusaders would often exaggerate stuff that they'd done to make them sound more holy.
Probably. I mean, the Crusade before the one that Fred went on, they took Jerusalem, and like the guy in control was like, "Okay, you can have that, and that's it. Okay, we don't really care. Just keep Jerusalem." And it's like, "Ha, no!" Charged headlong into their army and died, and lost everything. Yeah, the
Why does that
Crusades
not
are a
surprise me?
mess.
Does anyone
What,
else find
seriously,
it
why does
crazy?
that not surprise me?
Does anyone else find it weird that like the president of one of the most powerful countries in the world can just be banned?
Nope.
Because they're private companies. Private companies have their own.
They have more
yada,
power
yada,
than the
whatever.
president. They're just banning the actual president.
Well, the thing is, they don't. He doesn't, because they're. It's not a case of they've just. I don't know how to put this. Basically,
President has
it's-
more power, but not as an individual, as a role. The second you're
Yeah.
not that role, you've no one. And Trump
Well,
made
no,
so
you
many
get you
people
get certain
angry.
additional rights. You get a secret service detail that follow you around after you've become president.
Oh, can
That's
Trump
why-
not?
that's
Can
why
the
they're-
Secret Service cancel Trump so he doesn't get
You
one?
see,
No,
you see this.
No, that's why they're impeaching him, because you get loads of benefits after you become president. Like,
Yeah. So if
I think
they
it's like you
impeach
get
him,
£1 million
no,
to travel the world the year
Why?
after. I don't know. So basically, if they impeach him now, he won't get those benefits.
Good.
And then I saw this
He
one thing.
owns one of the most valuable bits of land in. Where's fucking Trump Tower? Is it New York? I don't know America.
New
Yeah.
York. He has Trump
Yeah.
towers
So
all over the place. There's a Trump Tower in Las Vegas, isn't there? It's
Yeah,
got
burn
all
it
gold
down.
windows.
I saw this thing where it was like, oh, Trump's going to be the first president to not go to the next president's like inauguration, and someone just put, what about JFK? And then someone just put, well, he didn't have a choice, did he?
Well, there have been 4 presidential assassinations, including Abraham Lincoln, and there were 2 others.
There was an attempt on Teddy Roosevelt, but Teddy Roosevelt's just too manly.
And there was an attempt on Ronald. Was it Ronald Reagan?
I don't know. I want to go into the Teddy Roosevelt one.
Someone shot him, but they shot him through a car door, so the bullet kind of missed the area that they were actually aiming for.
See, that's where JFK went wrong. He went for a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teddy got shot. It penetrated, I think, his cigarette case. Some paper went into him. It's like, okay. Anyway, did a speech for an hour and a half, and then went to get it
Looked
out.
at. Yeah.
Is that Robin Williams from 9
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
One of you says yes, the other one says no.
No,
And then
it
said, yeah.
is Robin Williams.
Night
yeah.
at the Museum, he plays that guy. Yes.
I thought you were on about
of-
did fucking Robin Williams get shot?
No, he committed self not live.
Do you know what I watched? I watched Robots the other day.
Oh yeah.
What a film!
Yeah.
That film's incredible.
It's got the weird joke at the start when.
Oh, I think we forgot something.
No, it's when the dad rushes home and they're like, "Oh, the baby's already been delivered." He's like, "Oh," and then the
Now's the
woman,
fun
then
part.
he's like, "The fun part is making it."
Yeah.
Oh god.
What a weird film! But the logic of that film is weird because basically, you are what your parents ordered. Like you could be a
Yeah,
if
but
your
young
parents were like,
child.
yeah, it's like, how do they exist? They're just a
don't know.
bunch of spare parts until they're put together. So can you just they can replace their own parts? Like, when do they stop becoming themselves?
I don't know. It's a weird film.
It's a kids' film about robots, not a
Upgrades, people,
philosophical,
upgrades.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
fuck's sake.
That scene is scary when it starts and they're all like in their little
Doesn't he like do the like fucking pull the lever, drop some guy through the chair?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
The
Yeah, well,
generic
they're all
villain.
hanging in like that thingy with like the thighs going off, and they're all in chains, like moving around the ceiling.
Mood.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when we could go outside and do things?
Do you remember like breathing actual air?
Oh no, I do that all the time. It's called going for a dog walk. You're allowed to do it. As long as it's not outside of 5 miles or whatever it actually is.
Yeah, but the
Okay,
problem
so
is
go on
the
a
weather's
20 mile
horrible and it's
walk.
been raining.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably still raining, to be fair.
It was snowing today in these ends.
I mean, it was kind of snowing at my end, but it was also raining at the same time.
Apparently,
so it was just nothing.
Yorkshire's had really bad snow.
Yeah, well, that's Yorkshire. They're right.
And they speak
They're
funny.
used to it.
People from Yorkshire do speak quite weirdly.
Yeah, well, to be fair,
Anywhere up north.
people from all over the world have different accents. If you listen to it, if an American heard a British person, an American would say that they spoke funny. If a British person listened to an American person, they'd say that the American person spoke funny.
Yeah, but we don't have
Americans
a weird
do
accent.
speak weirdly.
Yeah, but that's because
Like-
they bastardized our language half the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Birmingham has a weird accent. Liverpool has a weird accent. But we don't.
We're literally in the middle of loads of places with really strong accents.
And then ours is
And
kind
we
of
just don't have an existing. What
just-
is our accent?
Our
Explain
accents
our
don't put a
accent.
slight emphasis on the A's.
nah.
No, I don't. Do I? Wait.
Well, you can't hear
No.
it yourself because that's how you speak. It's
Bruh,
just not
No,
something
no,
you'd
no,
actually
no, no,
notice.
No,
that's
do I?
not right.
No, because I don't go like, what up? Wait.
No, but it's like a
Wait. What?
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 Why are we doing
There's no
what?
A in what, Joe? You idiot.
What? W-O-T. Ah,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
what?
Yeah, but if you get to some places like I think Cannock, you don't get what, you get what.
Woo.
What?
Woo.
To be fair, you get that here as well. You get that all over the place.
Yeah, well, people should just learn to speak freely. You know,
What is the best accent?
the
Ooh.
transatlantic accent.
No.
No.
Why? You get that's not an accent that like is a regional thing. You get taught to speak like that.
It's how they sang. It's part British, part
like
American.
old school like radio accent.
No, old school radio accent is what's known as elocution. It's where you get taught to not have an accent, which means that you have your own.
No, we're on about like if you listen to the guy at the Hindenburg crash and he does the fucking the humanity that accent.
Yes, that's American reporting.
No, it's
not
called
British reporting.
I'm not on about British reporting. I'm on about accents.
Yes,
and
but
that's
we're
the
British.
Old schooly news accent. Like
Yes, the old school
famous
news
one.
accent. If you ever listen to anything British, is
Yeah, but anything British, like anything British news, is just really posh. If
Good
you want
evening,
like
paedophiles.
entertaining news, watch Australian news because it's incredibly biased.
Oh god.
I would
Or,
say Australians do have one of the best accents.
Australians do have a very nice accent.
It's
Or
an
the French.
Oh,
I do like a good wee wee.
bro, the
for
French.
fuck's sake. I went to a game of rugby for my dad's 60th birthday. We bought tickets to Wales versus Australia in a friendly in Wales, and we had a couple of Australians sat behind us. My mum kept looking over her shoulder because the amount of times they were just going, fuck, and dropping the C-bomb just because
That's
she wasn't.
Australian, though.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly. She wasn't
language.
expecting it.
Every fourth word.
At least
Every
it's better
fourth-
than the Welsh accent.
Welsh, like, genuinely consists of, like, the Welsh alphabet is just. It's terrible.
They looked at the English alphabet and they're like, right, let's just remove every vowel. There we go.
It's weirdly enough, it is actually the I think only Celtic accent that or like language that didn't get deleted when Britain took over.
There's a lot of L's in it. It's just a
I
lot of
mean,
just
Scotland technically has Scottish Gaelic. There's
Yeah,
Manx
but
Gaelic.
they had to be basically rebuilt as
Mhm.
languages, whereas Welsh basically stayed as Welsh, which is really weird because on the bit of my course that I do about the greatest city on the planet, they go on about the Welsh community there, and they had Welsh schools where they will teach you the language because they kept their identity. Whereas, like, the Irish tried to, well, they either adapted to, like, anglicized places, or people would just, like, complain about them because they came over because of the potato famine. And, like, in classic British way, they would give them the, well, just don't starve.
just don't starve. It's quite political even now in today's society. with
Yeah,
things
I'm
going
gonna
Well,
on.
with the
steal a
school
joke from my
meals.
favorite podcast that I saw in the comments, which is, if I were the Twin Towers, I would simply have not fallen down.
Oh, he's got a point.
Exactly.
Yes, after being struck by three or
Two
four
planes. Two
No,
planes.
there were multiple aircraft in each. There was multiple aircraft in one tower, and there was at least one hitting the other.
I
Because
don't
there
know.
were two. There were
No.
two
No,
strikes.
there were four.
No, there were four
like,
planes hijacked. One went in the north, one went in the
One
south.
in the south,
One went
in
into
the
Pentagon,
and the other one got
and one
shot
got-
down by a farmer with his shotgun.
No, the other
No.
one they
The other one got the passengers took over, and then they crashed it
Well,
into
they
a
don't
field.
actually know what happened with it, I don't
And
think.
then, getting into conspiracies, the plane crashed and there's no debris.
No, the one in the Pentagon, like, I wonder why they covered it up. Maybe because it's the Pentagon. It's
Well, no.
basically the entire US military, and everything around it is run from that building.
Not to take this in.
It's like
Do you know
Maybach
what?
one
Sod
for the
it.
Germans.
Are we going
Joe,
conspiracy
it's
episode?
finally happened. The conspiracy episode is here.
Fucking
We are
finally!
17
Yes!
episodes too late. Right, here's all my knowledge about 9/11 because I know some things. When the Pentagon was struck, right, they have quite like a lot of cameras focusing on the area that it struck. Only one camera picked up anything, and that was of a white like flash, and not a Philly, were playing Boeing what?
They were probably 737s.
Yeah.
Yes, it was not. And the hole that it made was just ridiculous, right? And also, this may not be completely true, but I think it is. The side in which the plane struck was where there was a lot of protected files that they potentially would have wanted getting destroyed.
Oh, is that where
And
they
also-
is that where they stuck JFK's brain then after they lost it?
Would they simply not have used a shredder?
I don't think no, because they can't just shred documents and go, oh, never existed.
They
could,
just
but,
shred them and burn them. No one needs to know.
But
It's
also,
the Pentagon.
the
No
guy
one can
in
get
charge
in.
of the Pentagon, his office is on the other side of the building, keeping him perfectly safe.
But then again,
Yeah,
it's
but
also
then
underground
are
as
we
well.
going to go on about like, the
How
Twin
on
Towers
earth
was a bombing?
Did it burn? How on earth did it burn the fighter jet melt the steel beams?
Oh, simple. So
Jet fuel.
burns. I think it burns up very fast, but not very hot. Paper burns very hot, and there's a lot of paper because it's an office building. The
Yeah.
buildings are built to terrible standards. The fireproofing was non-existent. Literally, the fireproofing was drywall. You could punch a hole through it, and they flew a plane into it.
Can we talk about Building 7?
Building 7 is literally because it's an incredibly weird design. It's basically the entire building is built over something. So
Also,
I'm not
and
entirely
it was
sure.
on fire for
there was a news report where they said, "Oh, Building 7 has just gone down. We're gonna throw over to this person live," and the building's still there.
Well, yeah, that's probably like latency or something.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's weird. There's a lot of dodgy stuff about
Building 7 is, I don't think was built to a building standard either. It's really weird.
But do you know, like the whole the conspiracy that the government did it to start the war. Like,
the
what
war
was the
on
one
terror.
they did the same thing because declassified the thing where they were going to shoot a plane over Cuba so they could invade?
Probably. Like
What was
that's
the thing called?
that's because
We learned about
communism's
it.
stinky.
It's because they had the nukes in Cuba, didn't they?
Yeah, the Cuban
Well, the
Missile
Cuban Missile
Crisis.
Crisis.
Yeah, but what was the thing called?
The Bay of Pigs
I'm going.
invasion.
No, what the operation was called? Shoot America, shoot plane over Cuba.
America have accidentally shot down a plane once.
Russia did.
Actually,
Russia's done it
if you
several
want,
times.
if you want one that's a proper good conspiracy theory, you got that one in Italy where Gladio basically shot down a DC-9 because every single conspiracy is happening at once in Italy post-war. Because there's a strong communist faction, a strong fascist faction, everybody hates each other. They bombed a train station for some reason. Then after this plane is found, they're like, hang on, this isn't exploding out, this is exploding inwards, and it's covered in the explosive that's in like AIM-9s. Then later on, there's like an Iranian MiG-23 crashed into the side of a mountain somewhere. Everything is weird about it.
Well, to be fair, though,
I think the Italian government were like, yeah, it's probably pilot error here, we'll pay for it.
yeah, there's a lot of dumb shit that's happened in the world.
I can't find
Yeah.
the name of it right now. I'm trying to find it.
I think
And there's
Flight
all
19's the one America shot down.
There's all
Oh, is
those
it Operation
conspiracies that
Northwoods?
Princess
Probably.
Diana was killed. Well, had killed on the orders of the Queen or the King, or not the King, the Prince Philip.
Probably the Queen.
Could have
The
been either.
Queen
of
is
them.
immortal.
Yes, Operation Northwoods was a proposed false flag operation against the Cuban government. Blah blah blah. So basically, I think
So
they were gonna
shoot down a
they were gonna
saloon,
blame something on Cuba and then use
use
it as an excuse to
invade.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
but
not very American. They don't do that.
But the Princess Diana thing, there is something dodgy there.
Oil, I mean chemical weapons in Iraq. Let's invade.
Yeah. Also, Vietnam. Yeah, there's communists there. We need to invade.
Also, we won.
Vietnam is the dumbest war I can think of.
To be fair, the
full stop.
Russians were backing the North.
Yeah, but still. Actually, no, the dumbest war I can think of is when Russia invaded Afghan. So America funded a little guy called Bin Laden.
Oh yeah, that.
So there's a newspaper report, an American newspaper report, freedom fighter now moves on a new road, and it's a picture of Bin Laden. So
God.
America made some dumb decisions in the past.
So do you guys think that Princess Diana was murdered?
I think it's a very dumb story.
I think the fact of the matter is the press were dicks. They didn't give her any privacy. She told the driver to get away as fast as possible. The press still tried to keep up with her, and the driver lost control and crashed.
And she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So
and she wasn't wearing a seatbelt either. So yeah.
Didn't Banksy do a piece on that?
I don't know.
It was like
I know that the
Cinderella's carriage like rolled over and she's dead, and then there's just loads of cameras flashing.
All I know is that the guy that bought out Harrods for a bit, his son was dating Diana after she broke up with or was very close friends at least with her after she divorced Charles, and he was also in the crash, and the guy basically just went on a massive rant about how the royal family are the cause of all this.
I mean, the royal family is kind of oofed, especially recently, after Epstein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible how nothing has gone from that at all, still.
Are you really surprised?
I mean, no, because it's Britain. Nothing has happened from Grenfell yet. I could genuinely, every episode, if we go on a rant about something, I'm going to wind up going on about Grenfell because I think it's fucking disgusting.
What what are you guys' thoughts on the whole? Oh, Hitler never died in World War II and actually somehow managed to escape to Argentina.
Isn't there like genuine proof that he just shot himself, but no one
Yes.
knows what happened with his body?
They shot
It's
it.
like,
Because
He shot
they
himself.
had a skull. They had a skull that they thought was Hitler's, and they got proved that it wasn't.
Well,
I
they
mean-
shot. No, he shot himself. Then, when they got into the bunker, they found his dead body and they burned it. And then no one knows what happens.
No. I think he ordered his soldiers to
Yeah, he ordered
cremate him.
himself to be cremated so that like his body couldn't be like preserved like Lenin's was. That's why he wanted him cremated.
Have you seen like the last known image of Lenin? It's
Oh, isn't he in like
creepy.
a
He's
wheelchair?
in like a wheelchair. Yeah, it's very like.
Well, that's because he
It's like
had
the way you never would have expected to see
it's
Lenin.
because he had a stroke, as we learned in
Yeah.
history, and just lost mental function.
And then
And
died.
before that, he
But
said,
you go from like the pictures of
around
him.
saying, "Don't let that guy Stalin take over. Tell the guy who I put in charge of giving jobs out, don't let that guy Stalin take over." Who did I put in charge of jobs getting, by the way? Stalin.
Stalin. Mood.
And he also
You're
put
just so
Stalin.
used to seeing Lenin as this like big, standing up on his podium and stuff, and then
Yeah,
it's like
like
seeing him like
imposing
that
everybody
is just
as a-
like.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can say that about all like dictators, basically.
And then he got reincarnated as Jeremy Corbyn.
I mean, you can say it about anyone that's gotten old. You can say that about any person who was a big person who's then, as they've got old, has got smaller and more inwards.
Yeah, but
like,
I find
for example,
seeing
It's
seeing,
because
like,
it's like
all-
the image of Stalin you have is big,
I mean-
imposing, like leader
Mario.
of nations.
not Stalin,
Stalin
Lenin.
is Mario.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We're not doing this.
No, young Stalin is an e-boy.
Not
Some
gonna
of our
lie,
picture
you're
used to
not wrong.
gush over young Stalin.
We've got to post this on our Twitter.
Yeah, I have a picture if you want.
No, we're not posting pictures of Stalin.
Right, if
Yeah, but look
anyone's
at him.
actually listening, look up young Stalin.
You'll understand what we're on about.
What was I going to say? But like, people as they get older, they change. Like, for example, have you seen all those things that keep popping up on Instagram of Muhammad Ali as an old man suffering from Parkinson's? And he's
Yeah.
so different
But I mean,
from.
like, the thing I'm trying to make is the photos of like the last known photos of people are always just creepy as.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
always go look at a death mask.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, what's one of them?
It's why they take
basically
a
they're
cast of your
commissioned when
face.
people die. So
They
there's
take a
one
cast of your
of
face and make it into a mask that used to go on top of you. But like they did that with what's his name, Heinrich Himmler.
yeah,
When
the
he
one I
surrendered.
Why would
was
they
on
make a
about is
mask of your
Dante.
own face to put on your own face?
No, they commission it when you die. Basically, there's one of Dante. It's in the Palazzo Vecchio, I think.
Wait, so they make a mold of your face to put on display somewhere?
Yes.
I think basically, yeah.
There's one, like I said, there's one of Heinrich Himmler in the Imperial War Museum North in Manchester.
I've
So
been
it's-
there and I didn't see that.
Okay.
There's also a piece of what's his name, Reinhard Heydrich's plane, the 110 that he was flying.
Oh
with.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. There's also a couple of tanks, which I'm sure Finley will be more.
Yeah,
than
there's a
happy to talk
picture of
about
me in
later.
front of one of them. T-50.
And there's
I-
also a Flammenwerfer, a German World War I Flammenwerfer that werfs Flammen.
Pog.
I say we continue talking about conspiracies so I can actually name this episode Conspiracy Theory without feeling too bad for people who clicked on it. And now I've completely forgotten the one I was going to talk about.
Mood.
Great.
Yes.
Guy
What
gets
conspiracy-
decapitated trying
Oh,
to blow up Khrushchev's boat. That's not a conspiracy. That just happened.
what's
he
that
came out
place
and
in
said it.
Argentina? So you know how a lot of the high-ranking Nazis escaped to Argentina,
Yeah.
Yeah.
including Angel
little-
of Death. What's his face? What's his name?
Angel of Death.
Oh, is it the
Yes.
doctor guy?
The guy who's worse than Hitler. He literally he experimented on twins to see if they would
it's
feel the same pain.
What's his fucking name? Have I forgotten this? I've been to Auschwitz. They go on about it when you're there.
What's his name? Oh,
I don't know. I've not really looked into this in much detail.
He experimented on like twins, trying to like conjoin them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, basically,
know
the place is called Colonia Dignidad.
Dumb name.
Oh,
Yeah, there was
and
all.
it's where like all they made their own like settlement and stuff.
Yeah. Who was it? There was a Nazi that had like furniture and stuff made out of human flesh and bones and stuff like that. Skin and bones. It was weird.
Oh, we're on about Joseph Mengele.
Yes. He wanted to figure out how twins work so they could produce the Aryan race quicker, I think.
Oh god.
But also, do you want to know what's creepy, right? They let him, when he moved to Argentina or Chile or one of them.
It'd be
I
Argentina.
remember listening to a podcast about this. They let him in charge of the hospital.
Oh god.
Nothing bad could happen there.
But do you want to know the even creepier bit? The town closest to that hospital,
Yeah.
guess what they have the highest rate of?
Twin
Twins.
disappearances.
No, twins. They have the highest rate of twins.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
nothing odd
fuck.
there.
So could he have figured it out? Or is it just a coincidence?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff he would do,
basically
he would chop body parts off twins and swap them to see if they would work. And make one of them feel pain to see if the other one would feel pain.
Yeah,
And if one of the twins died, you just get rid of the other one because they're useless.
Yeah, that
He
shit.
was mental.
You don't say.
yeah,
Should we look at?
and Argentina.
Yes.
Well, basically, any Nazi scientist was basically given the, yeah, you're all right, because the entirety of early NASA was literally just ex-Nazis.
And then there was also the
The Russian Space Agency was ex-Nazis. The entire development of Argentina's jets were Kurt Tank, the lead developer at Focke-Wulf,
the guy that made,
and
19
Dovertine, who was the guy that
Jetwin.
built
was-
all of Richie France's aircraft, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was
Here's. I just want to read out this bit about Colonia
what's that
Dignidad.
the Japanese war criminals called? It was like a task force something or other. It was like task
like
force
101, isn't it?
600. It was like 600,
601?
60 something. But it was
I know the one you're on about.
they were basically Nazi experiments and Japanese experiments on prisoners of war and people that they didn't like was basically the foundation for a lot of modern medical science. So, like for example,
I think I know what you're on about, Homit.
so like how they know how long it takes for a body to cool down, so they can tell how long that person's been dead or how long.
Are you on about Unit 731?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, Unit 731 is disgusting.
Yeah, they'd literally they threw people into the ocean and let them drown and literally just noted down the effects of that sort of stuff. And they did stuff with chemical weapons and stuff like that.
I just want to quickly go over Colonia Dignidad, then we can move on to that. It just says here, it was an isolated colony of Germans and Chileans established in post-World War II Chile by emigrant German Nazis, who became notorious for torture during the military dictatorship of General Augusto Pinochet. Yeah, it was a mental place, but it says here it was the main legal economic activity was agriculture, and it was home to a school, a hospital, 2 airstrips, a power station, and a restaurant. So, I mean, at least had a restaurant.
Yeah, the hospital. You'd come in with a minor cut and you'd go out with someone else's arm. By the sounds of it.
Yeah. What was that place? What did I say that place was called?
Colonia Dignidad or something like
No,
that.
no, the other one.
Unit
Japanese
703.
Unit
No,
731.
731, yeah.
Unit 731. Let's see what they did there.
It was like chemical weapons and
It was a biological and chemical warfare research and development. I can talk.
No,
lethal
you
human
can't.
experiments. This looks like a place of fun.
Yeah.
deaths. Are you ready for this? Estimated up to 400,000
Jesus Christ,
From-
that's more than fucking Chernobyl.
from biological warfare, over 3,000 from inside experiments, at least 10,000 prisoners died. Only 775 injured. It was officially known as the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department of the Kawatung Army.
Yeah, shit was fucked, man.
Genuinely
Activities,
more
here we
deaths than Chernobyl. Ish.
Oh, apparently the test subjects were referred to as logs.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
How many logs fell was originally this term originated as a joke.
Yeah,
That is kind of fucked. Prisoners were injected with disease disguised as vaccinations to study to their effect. Male and female were infected with syphilis and gonorrhea. Prisoners were also raped by guards. A lot of them were subjected to vivisection.
vivisection. That's where they. Isn't that where they snip? That's the snip, isn't it?
That's castration, isn't
No,
it?
it's surgically conducted experiments on purpose on living organs, typically animals' central nervous system. I don't actually know what that is. Oh,
well, castration is when they.
it's live. It's live organ harvesting, basically.
Oh, what the fuck? No, that's
and
not.
It was done. No, and it was done without
anesthesia.
Oh, you're thinking of a vasectomy, Joe.
That's the one. It began with a V. That's the connection.
Prisoners had limbs amputated in order to study blood loss.
Yeah, like I said,
These
fucked.
These limbs were removed and reattached to the opposite side of the body.
What the fuck?
They had their stomachs removed and an esophagus reattached to their intestines. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, kind of.
And then obviously they gave a lot of people plague.
A very fucking dark turn.
Oh, they gave them typhoid and paratyphoid germs. Oh,
See,
lovely.
this is where most of our knowledge from of quite a lot of knowledge about.
Oh, they have a lot of bubonic plague as well there.
You see, this is where a lot of modernish studies of this sort of those sorts of diseases.
Yeah,
came from.
I mean, like obviously, they obviously did a lot of frostbite testing. Wasn't it like, yeah? Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as these things were, right? And obviously we are saying these things are bad. How different do you think medicine will be now if these never happened?
There would be a lot of stuff that we wouldn't necessarily know as much detail about because we are unwilling to do that sort of stuff to our fellow humans whilst they're alive.
Unless you're like, I guess the awkward thing here is it's a war, and if you look at it as like, oh, good versus bad, that's not how wars work.
No.
There are atrocities on every side.
Oh, it also says here female prisoners were forced to become pregnant just for experiments to see if they can like make a disease spread from mother to child.
Bruh.
Yeah.
How did we get on from cars to this? Jesus.
I don't know, but I think this is why we haven't done a
because we went on about
episode,
conspiracy theories. Then you started talking about the Germans who escaped, and we were talking about German messed up science. Then we went on.
Can we go on about a dumb conspiracy theory now?
Oh, what conspiracy?
You've ruined my amazing segue. I was going to say, speaking of torture, how's uni?
Oh, I get 8 weeks of accommodation paid back, but I have work for tomorrow that I found out about yesterday. To be fair, I have most of it done now. I am 3/4 of the way through.
I finished 2 of my uni exams, which are doing get the results back until the end of the year.
Oh, mood.
You don't get them to the end of the year. What the fuck?
Yes.
Ours is 4 weeks at most.
Oh, you know that you remember I was talking about that game thing that they made us do for systems and performance, aircraft systems and performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
there were a shit ton of complaints about the marks for that. We literally got them a few days ago, and before that, like 2 days before we actually got the marks, we got this general feedback sheet. And the first thing that we saw was a histogram of what the marks that we'd self-marked as, which were somewhere in the ranges of about between 40, 50-ish to up to 100%, right? And then we got the actual marks as a histogram, and it was down to about 20% to 70% maximum.
What did you get, Joe?
71 out of 100.
That's not too bad.
We were one of the lucky ones. I know someone who had someone leave the group, and the rest of her group didn't put in much effort, and she got 34 or something like that.
Okay, so before this episode ends up getting really long, because it's already been like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Finley, do you want to talk about that dumb conspiracy? Then we'll move on to the last segment.
Well, it's more of a hoax. So basically, Britain, we have a boat. The boat called HMS Dreadnought.
Right, I'm going to end this one now.
Bro, shut up. The year is 06 or something. Enter some teenagers. They're like, hey, you know what'll be funny? They go on the boat. Hi, I'm the Prince of Zanzibar. Oh, welcome aboard, Your Majesty. So the British Navy give this quote-unquote Prince of Zanzibar a tour of their big new battleship, state-of-the-art, top secret. And he's just some kid from, like, King's College. But they're like, you know what? Yeah. I think it was either Oxford or Cambridge, because they basically have a history of doing stuff like this. Like, a couple years ago, someone put a Santa hat on one of, like, the steeples of a church. It took a week for them to get the scaffolding up, and then he just moved it onto the next one.
For fuck's sake.
Have you heard this thing about the Queen? They're not releasing what version of the COVID vaccine she got. Because they don't want people to be like, oh, if the Queen's had that one, we've got to have it.
Yeah.
Big mood. I mean, she is like, what, like, she's like 2 million years old now.
Her official age is in the 90s. She's in her 90s.
Prince Philip is 99. If Prince Philip turns 100, does he get a letter from the Queen?
Birthday card. Yeah, exactly. She gets his official birthday card, and then the personal one.
Gets a Moonpig card from the Queen.
It's just loads of photos of him.
Oh god.
We'll move on to our final segment. What are we watching?
I watched Chernobyl. Very good.
Oh, which episode was your funniest?
Funniest?
It's a dark show, man. You're thinking funny.
Oh, probably the one where they kill all the animals.
The funniest moment in that show is when Boris gets on the phone.
Yeah.
After, like, Joker dies, and he, like, punts it through the wall, walks out, angrily turns to the guard, we're going to need a new phone. Yeah, but Chernobyl is an interesting thing, because Chernobyl basically influenced everyone that, like, nuclear energy bad. The issue there is nuclear energy is bad when you don't respect the fact that it is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And or you make your reactor so that it can turn into a bomb.
The bit where the guy turns into a pizza is a bit disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
Also,
did I ever tell you about the guy that got hit by radiation? They kept him alive for like 80 days. I think we spoke about it in another podcast.
We did it in one of the other episodes.
Shit.
What about the guy that stuck his head into a fucking Hadron Collider and just went straight through and he was fine?
And what's
the bit where the guy, like, they go like, oh, look over the balcony. He literally looks over, turns around, he's like red.
Yeah, radiation burns. You know Akimov? The guy that they call Sasha,
is that Martin?
Kind of weird. No, that Martin's Dyatlov. Akimov is the guy that Dyatlov shouts at all the time. He's the guy that's talking to, like, the prepubescent boy, basically. I don't get why they call him Sasha, because his name's Alexa, I think.
Well,
no, it's Alexander.
Sasha's just a common nickname. Like,
Yeah, it's still
what's his name? Lenin's brother was called Alexander, and his nickname was Sasha.
Yeah. Basically, Akimov's final words are actually in the show, which is, "We did everything right. I don't understand why it did that." That's all
Then
he
how
said.
did he die?
Radiation poisoning. He spent
Did
like
he-
3 hours in the fucking water.
Wait,
He's-
is this the bit where? Is that when it first exploded? Not the people that went in it, the water in the swimsuits.
No, all them survived, didn't they? Only
Yeah,
like 2
did
of them
they?
are still alive.
The worst ones are the people that had to go on the roof.
Oh, then
And all
They're
the
the
miners.
liquidators. No, the worst ones are the people, like the firefighters, because they got called in not knowing what was happening, stood
Oh, when the guy picks
basically
it up.
around
Oh.
everything with no protection, like to that stuff. They don't
And
even
then
know
all the
what a
people on the
radiation is.
bridge. Oh.
Yeah, they all just
They're like,
die.
oh, should we go look at the big blue laser in the sky?
Well, you need to keep in mind, at this point, nuclear power is new. And it's the
Mm.
Soviet Union. Nuclear power is a state secret. So no one understands how it works. So they see the blue light and they're like, "Huh, that's cool. Let's go watch it." Not
there's
realizing
one
that
guy-
that's enough radiation to just outright kill you.
There's a guy literally buried under the reactor.
Yeah, because they can't get to him.
Is
found
he on
on
the
there.
elephant's foot or something, then?
Yeah, because the reactor exploded on top of him. Like,
yeah,
landed
he's
on
the
him.
guy that heard it, like, the thing's bouncing. It's that guy. He gets buried basically under the building. Then the firefighters' bodies have to be treated as nuclear waste, which is why they're in lead coffins and they get buried under concrete.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just didn't. If I knew, if my skin was starting to go red, I would just find the nearest gun and off myself.
I don't think they really knew what it was. And then by the time that they realise, oh, this is bad, they can't do anything. They're in hospital.
It's like when people talk about zombie apocalypses and like what they would do. Literally, if there was a zombie outburst, the first thing I would do is off myself.
First thing I do, steal a plane and then fly into the floor. Full speed. Straight up, straight down.
Sky King style.
I become the bullet.
Have you heard of Sky King?
No.
He was this guy. He worked as a baggage handler at an airport, and he basically became suicidal. And one day, just stole an aircraft, started doing loads of like loops in the sky and all this sort of shit.
And then just float into the floor.
And then at the end of it, when his fuel was getting low, he was on comms with air control this entire time, just having a nice conversation with it. And then he turns to them and he just goes, "Yeah, I don't know how to land this thing. I don't have anyone to tell that I love them, but goodbye now," and just flew it into an island which wasn't very populated.
At least it's not as bad as Mad Mike, who literally built a homemade rocket and launched it into the sky, and then he crashed in it because he wanted to see if the Earth was flat.
And then
if we're going on about bad suicides, then you want the German Wings flight, where the co-pilot locked the pilot out on a full plane and flew it into a mountain. And the cockpit voice recorder hears, "Open this fucking door," which is the pilot hitting the door with an axe.
So speaking about what we're watching, I watched all of season 2 and season 3 of Cobra Kai, and I'm just sat here now waiting for season 4 to come out next year.
1 minute.
I'm currently watching. Speaking of Netflix shows, I'm currently watching The 7 Deadly Sins. It's decent.
Joe, I highly recommend you watch Cobra Kai.
I probably will. It's Karate Kid.
Yes, it's got everything you could possibly want. It's got alcoholics.
So Joe,
it's got car salesman.
I'm not an alcoholic.
You are. It's got car salesman. It's got ridiculous like karate in it. Okay, right. So okay. Do you know how when seasons progress, like things get even more extreme, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I might have to just add some spoilers in, just not any character's name, but just because how ridiculous it is.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
This is a spoiler for season 2 mainly. In season 1, the main karate is just the tournament and then like stuff that happens, right?
Yeah.
When like the kids are getting beaten up and stuff. Season 2, there's a massive fight at the school which ends in one kid being kicked off a balcony, like the higher part of the school, landing on the stair rail and then like hitting the stairs, ends up in a coma. The other guy who kicks and goes off the run. In season 3, that guy's getting arrested, and the kid's like trying to learn to walk again. Which that season then ends with the rival like dojo kids breaking into this person's house and just attacking them. A guy gets thrown through a window.
Mood. I'm
And they
just thinking
beat people up in a
car
dealership. It's just stupid in season 3.
Mood.
Yeah. Yanti gets up.
There's like in season 2, there's like a 20-minute long fight scene in the school. It's just fantastic.
Joe, what you watching?
Like I said, I'm watching Seven Deadly Sins. I'm on season 4, episode.
4 seasons now.
There's now 4 seasons. I'm on.
Wait, what's it about?
Episode 17.
Joe, it's a weird thing. You wouldn't like it.
Oh, that's fair enough. Oh, speaking of 4 seasons, didn't Donald Trump, didn't the Republican Party, after when it was like the election, they wanted to hire out the 4 Seasons Hotel, but they got it wrong. So they hired out a different place called 4 Seasons, and it was basically just like the back end of some garages.
Mood.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's better than like most of the names, such as the building that replaced One Meridian, which is literally called like the Residence at, and then whatever the building next to it is called. And it is the worst naming scheme ever. 30 St. Mary's Axe is better than
Right, and
the
on that
Residence
bombshell.
Act. Yeah, on that bombshell. Name
It's
your
time to
building
end.
something normal.
Go follow
Don't
our Twitter at road_ramble. Go look at our YouTube Ramble Road podcast. Go follow our TikTok. Apparently, what's it called
follow
again?
me
Jake?
on DeviantArt. I don't know
Ramble
what
Road
I'm
picks.
called.
Ramble Road podcast.
So you don't know what you're called, but you're telling people to follow you.
Yeah, follow me on
Only-
DeviantArt. I don't post
Only-
anything.
only- OnlyFans
Sorting the
coming soon.
OnlyFans out.
OnlyFans coming soon.
We keep
Yeah.
saying that. You need to sort it.
Soon.
Right.
Let's get the
Goodbye.
unique tabs out the way first.
Yeah.
Yeah, au revoir.
Goodbye from me.
Bye. And it's
До
goodbye from
свидания.
you.